Most artists think light hits a surface and stops there, but in reality light keeps traveling, and this is one of the biggest reasons why many 3D scenes feel unnatural. Even if your main light source is correct, a scene can still feel flat if light doesn't interact with the space, because light almost never disappears after the first contact. And this is where believable lighting really begins, to understand why we need to look at what light actually does after hitting surface. If you want to create believable lighting, one thing is extremely important to understand. Light almost never hits a surface and simply disappears. In nature, light is constantly bouncing. It hits one surface, reflects, then reaches another surface, and continues doing this many times. This happens everywhere around us all the time. As artists, we often simplify light too much. We place one light source, illuminate the object, and expect the image to work. But in reality, light always interacts with the environment. It collects color from surrounding surface, changes temperature and softness, shadows, and creates subtle transitions. That's why even in darker scenes, shadows are rarely completely black. A scene is almost never truly dark. Instead, shadows are full of reflected light and soft color information. The darkest areas usually appear only where objects are very close to each other, where light physically has less space to enter. This is what we often describe as ambient occlusion. Even in your own room right now, there is a huge amount of reflected light. Light bounces from the floor, walls, furniture, etc., and all of these surfaces affect what you finally see. If light doesn't bounce at all, the result immediately feels unnatural. It starts to look artificial, even if the main light source itself is correct. And this becomes even more obvious when color enters the scene. A warm wall can push warm light into nearby shadows. A colored floor can affect the lower parts for any object. Every surface becomes part of lighting. The important part is that diffuse reflection always remains present. This effect never disappears. Once you understand this, you start building much stronger color relationship in your work. You begin to control reflected light instead of ignoring it. In photography, the same principle is used constantly. Reflectors are placed near the subject to push bounced light exactly where it is needed. In other words, photographers often enhance what already exists naturally. And I use the same ideas in my own illustrations or concept art. In some scenes, I intentionally push reflected light much stronger than reality to show the color accent or make the composition better, because it helps separate forms, enrich shadows, and create a more interesting mood. Once you start noticing balancing light, you begin to see lighting completely different. And after that, building atmosphere becomes much easier. In the next video, I will break down exactly how I build these lighting setups in Blender, and it will be awesome because we have 4 different lighting setups, different rooms, but it really easy change it, and see you guys. Thanks.